Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 1276 of the Juicebox Podcast. This is the 13th installment of my weight loss series. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm losing weight, doing good, feeling healthy. This has been the story. Please don't forget that nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan or becoming bold with insulin. I was looking for a way that we could all get nice and tan and meet each other and spend some time talking about diabetes. How are we going to do that? On a Juice Cruise. Juice Cruise 2025 departs Galveston, Texas on Monday, June 23rd, 2025. It's a 5-night trip through the Western Caribbean, visiting, of course, Galveston, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. I'm going to be there. Erica's going to be there, and we're working on some other special guests. Now, why do we need to be there? Because during the days at sea, we're going to be holding conferences. You can get involved in these talks around type 1 diabetes, and they're going to be Q&As. Plenty of time for everyone to get to talk, ask their questions, and get their questions answered. So if you're looking for a nice adult or family vacation, you want to meet your favorite podcast host, but you can't figure out where Jason Bateman lives, so you'll settle for me. If you want to talk about diabetes, or you know what? Maybe you want to meet some people living with type 1, or just get a tan with a bunch of cool people. You can do that on Juice Cruise 2025. Space is limited. Head now to juiceboxpodcast.com and click on that banner. You can find out all about the different cabins that are available to you and register today. Links in the show notes, links at juiceboxpodcast.com. I hope to see you on board. Well, it's June 8th. I did not lose weight like I was hoping to at the end of the 12th episode of my weight loss extravaganza. I gained, but only a little bit. Choosing to look at this as the 10 milligrams working, because if we go back to the 26th of May, I was 190.2. Then, I had the drop, and I ended back on the first, that last recording, 184.6. Today, I was 185.6. So I gained a pound over the week. 184.6 went to 185.8, 186.2, 186.4. Now, this was great. Not great, but because on the 6th, which is just 2 days ago, so on Wednesday or Thursday of this week, I was 185.8, 185.8, so I lost weight at the end of the week, which is not common. So yes, I rose Tuesday and it held, but then I came back down again. My hunger this week has been fine. No problems. Sorry if you can hear that cricket in the background. Oh my God, shut up. My hunger this week has been fine. I have not been overly hungry. I have not done much snacking at all. Healthy food. Maybe I didn't eat quite enough this week, but still playing with my supplements that I'm sorry, I'm not ready to tell you about yet, for like stomach stuff, like trying to get my stomach under control. Working on my gut health a little bit. So hunger's not bad. No cravings for sugar. Went up in the beginning of the week, but came back down. Just didn't come all the way back down. I feel pretty good about this week. Doctor still says to me when I tell her, she's like, oh, try the 10 for like another month, but we might go to the 12. So I don't know. I got my belly out here. We'll give this a shot and give it a go. And we'll see where we get to next week. 10 milligrams of Zepbound. Cap comes off. Lock comes off. Zepbound goes in. Where am I looking for? It's a nice spot right here. How's this look? I like it. Hold on. Ooh, I pinched a little bit. No blood, though. No wetness, no leaking. Very good. Can I hit the trash can? I've moved the trash can. There's no way I'm going to hit it. Missed it by at least 8 inches. I'm trying, kids. It's a long fight, But let's keep in mind that as I'm sitting here kind of bemoaning a pound this way or a pound that way, let us keep in mind I have lost 47.8 pounds since I started this. And I feel terrific. Get these other like kind of gut issues in line, maybe get the medication to the right spot, lose this last 20 pounds if I can. I don't know if it's 20. Actually, honestly, I don't know how much it is, if it's 20 pounds left or what, but we'll find out. I'll talk to you later. Bye. It's Saturday, June 15th, and I've gained 2 pounds again by having salt. Okay, I tried to have air fried wings. They were just in hot sauce. I'm like, Jesus, what? Like, I didn't even use a dry rub this time. Then I looked. You know, hot sauce has 400 grams of sodium in a tablespoon. Well, I didn't know that either. Now I do. And now I'm 2 pounds heavier. And I've made a decision. I am going to exercise this week with intention. Because this medication, if I'm just going to lose weight on just the med, I got to think this 10 milligrams would do it. I can ask the doctor to go to 12 in a couple weeks, and I probably will, but obviously something else has to happen here. So I think the era of GLP being the only reason I lose weight is over. So if this recording doesn't pop back on in 7 days with me telling you that I lost weight and I exercised, I don't know what I don't know. I'll be disappointed in myself. But I'm going to shoot this real quick and start having a thought, and I might finish the thought up next week, but hold on. Cap off. Cap on, cap off. The capper. Lock off. Definitely not doing the same side of my belly as I did last time because it doesn't fight salt. I'm just kidding. I hope you can hear sarcasm. Here we go. God damn, I said god damn. That stung a little bit. Woo! Got a little drop of blood that time. Drip drop. Woo! Okay. Anyway. Time. I want to talk about time for a second. I've had this experience. I've talked about it with other people. My brother I have a brother who's lost like 90 pounds this year. 90, 80, a lot of weight this year. Just dieting, exercise, no medication, no help. He has the same exact experience I'm having. And I want you to be ready for it if you should start using a GLP specifically, or I guess maybe not even specifically. If you start changing how you eat, you end up with more time. More time because you're not cooking sometimes as elaborate meals, bigger meals. You're not eating as much. You have more time. And you think, oh, that's great. I have more time, but wait till you don't know how to fill it. And not that you don't have great ideas or things you want to do. There are things I want to do, but I was so accustomed to living a 24-hour day the way I was that when there are suddenly appreciable chunks of time given back to you, you realize you don't have a plan for it. And if you're not careful, I found that it could feel lonely or lost, like in an abyss. But I identified it and picked something that if I ever feel like that, I'll go do. And anyway, it's a blessing now that I know how to handle it. But in the beginning, it was confusing and off-putting, and I wasn't really aware of I had this like dizzying feeling, and I didn't know what it was until I realized I have so much free time and nothing to do that I feel lost. Anyway, I don't feel like that anymore, but I want you to be ready for it. This is not specific to me. Like I said, I've heard from a number of people who have felt this way, and had one very personal conversation with my youngest brother who identified the same thing. So, be ready to have extra time. Less weight, more time. Okay, kids, been a week. June 22nd, Saturday. Let's go over what happened. I did get some exercise, not exactly the way I was expecting to, but got some muscle training, some cardio. Spent a lot of time in the heat, moving and sweating. What did that bring us? Well, let's take a look. It brought us back. Well, let me look at it this way. On the 15th, it was 187 pounds. That's the day I recorded, right? 187. The next day, on the 16th, I gave myself a little break and didn't weigh myself. Sorry, rubbing the microphone. That's very unprofessional. Sorry about that. On the 17th, 186.8, a 0.2 reduction. Now, the next day, that's going to be the 19th, after a big burst of exercise, 185.6. Whoa, crazy, right? 185.6 actually held for the 20th and the 21st. I did get some more exercise yesterday, and today I woke up at 185.2 pounds. So am I down? Yeah, I'm down 2 pounds since the 14th, almost 2 pounds since the 15th. Nearest I can tell, exercise was the difference. What do you know? We'll try it again. The thing with the extra time, I really hope you took that to heart. I want to tell you that people shouldn't text me while I'm making a podcast. Hold on a second. My neighbor wants me to grab a package for them. Oh my God, this is fantastic. Sent me a text 7:30 this morning on a Saturday. I was sleeping, by the way, telling me they might need me to get a package. I responded at 8:20, and just 5 hours later, she said thank you while I'm recording a podcast. It's okay. Everything's fine. Got my 10 millis of Zepbound here. I am going to, I don't want to waste a month, but I don't want to go back to the doctor and ask for the 12 just yet. So I'm going to ride 10, get my refill with 10. I think this is my third injection of 10. You guys would probably know better than me, but anyway. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry. We lost a pet this week. Our oldest, Indy. And I feel weird that last week I was talking about how there's so much time and I don't know what to do with my time. And today all I can kind of think about is, days go slow, years go fast. Kind of stuck in my head. Days go slow, years go fast. Don't waste time. Anyway, not going to waste any time. I'm going to shoot this Zepbound, and in honor of my daughter, who does not love injections and sometimes can struggle with hers, I'm going to put this one in my butt cheek because I'm always telling her to try different places, and she's like, no. And then I realize I come up here every week and I shoot this in like the same location over and over again. So, all right, I don't know what I'm going to do. Hold on a second. Let me stand up a second. This is not going to be particularly easy. Hold on. There's very little butt cheek here to work with. That's not a flex. Oh, shit. Why did I do this? Okay, hold on a second. Cap off. Throw it at the trash can. Ooh, it went in. Fancy. Unlock. Okay. Hold on. Let me turn the microphone towards my... Hold on. Don't let me forget to say something in a second. All right. I've given myself a bit of a wedge. Hold on a second. Why did I say I would do this? All right. Pinch. Ready? All right. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. All right. There you go. Tell your friends I take it in the ass. Hold on a second. Do you know, by the way, I shouldn't have said that. Somebody's going to pull that out. What was I going to say? Oh, ass. I put a Facebook post up the other day. I used the word ass in it. And a lady's like, I love you, but I have to unfollow. I mean, to her, I love you too, but you know what I mean? Tighten up. Hey, I decided to do like a little experiment. So as you've been hearing, I added a little light exercise, lost some extra weight. I was like, okay. I mean, not that we all don't know that exercise helps you lose weight, but I was like, okay, you know, how do I put this? First of all, it's June 30th, Sunday. How do I know, we all know exercise can help you lose weight. I've been on this weird journey where you just inject this thing and then you lose weight. And you get to the point where you're like, well, when does this stuff just maintenance? Like when is it not going to be aiding in the loss anymore, just holding me where I am? I have to kind of understand what the juice in this thing does exactly, you know? And I mean, look, it's easy to understand what it does technically, but like, what am I really seeing? All right, here's my point. So this week, things were going well. I was like in the 185, like low 185. Let me pull up the thing. I'll tell you the number is. But I was happy all week. I was like, this is going well. But I wanted to stretch out when my next injection was happening, because I had this idea for an experiment, which I'll tell you about in a second. But if we basically go back a week ago, sorry, I just sniffed into the microphone. That's ridiculous. I'm so sorry. Like, let's just go back to the 22nd, right? It was last Saturday. And I'm 185.2. Then Sunday, 186. But then Tuesday, 185.2. Then Wednesday, 185 even. Thursday, 185.2. And I'm like, all right, I know this is Thursday. I know that the magic Zepbound juice is going to start to wear off a little bit. And I'm going to drift up. I just know it. But I've got these 2 extra pens from when I went up in dose before. So I have these pens with like a very low dose in it. And then I have the 10 milligram pens that I'm on right now. 10 milligram pens I'm on right now, but I've got like a 7.5. And I'm like, is there a way I can I've got these 2 7.5 pens left. Can I stagger this? Because obviously I'm shooting this stuff Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, I'm not like losing a ton of weight. I'm just like pretty much maintaining, and I'm eating, and none of the impacts that food normally has on me, like this, like, you know, weight loss or weight gain just from being alive, it doesn't happen to me on the Zepbound. So the Zepbound's doing that, but I'm not really going backwards. Like, you know, the doctor's like, well, we could go to 12. I'm like, all right, well, you know, let me wait and see. I don't care about moving up another 2 milligrams if that's going to do something, but isn't it just going to piss out, you know, 4 or 5 days into it? I wonder if, just as an experiment, because I have these 2 extra pens, 7.5 pens, why don't I shoot the 10 this weekend on Sunday, I think, instead of Saturday? And then as soon as the 5th day comes around, Thursday night, Friday, I'm going to hit myself with the 7.5 pen. It's 2 days early, but it feels like it's not there the last 2 days anyway. Plus, it'll cover me over the weekend, right? And then I'll wait till I see it wane again 5 days, and then I'm going to go 10. Then I'll wait to see it wane. So anyway, I've got these 2 extra pens. I think I'm going to try this for 2 weeks. I have this big idea, but I want to move it to Sunday because I want the new injection to happen like Friday morning, the 5th day. Well, hell, I mean, Jesus Christ on a cracker. So on the 27th, I'm 185.2. On the 28th, I'm 186.4. And I'm like, okay, it's not working. It's all right. You know, I go to what would normally be my weigh-in day, which should have been yesterday, the 29th. Well, goddamn, I wake up 186.8. I'm like, all right, not bad. It's hanging in the 186 range. Now, last night, we watched a UFC fight. I am, hand to God, it's like 11:30. These guys are beating the holy hell out of each other on pay-per-view. And there's these pretzels and Doritos there. And I take a handful of pretzels and Doritos and eat them and wake up this morning. I am not kidding you. 188.2 pounds. I got up this morning, went for my constitutional, felt very cleared out, if you know what I mean, and then got on a scale to find out I was 188.2 versus the day before 186.8 versus a week ago 185. So I've gained 3.2 pounds since my best weight this week, off of a handful of, I almost cursed, potato chips and pretzels in the middle of the night, basically, while watching this thing. So the juice in the pen, and this is not technical because I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's got to have something it's got to be blocking the impact of the food too. Because I've had a handful of pretzels while I was on Zepbound and not gained any weight. As a matter of fact, this week, I did very well in the 185 range, as you heard, 185, maybe 186. I mean, I had a frozen yogurt this week. I had pizza earlier in the week. Like, I've eaten food, but I haven't gained any weight. I haven't woken up in the morning and been like, oh my goodness, I've gained 2 pounds. But Saturday to Saturday, 7 days. Then on the 7th day, instead of injecting, I didn't inject. So the magic goo is gone at that point. And listen to me. A person shouldn't gain 2 pounds from having hard pretzels and 17 Doritos. Now, is it good for me? No, but it shouldn't have that kind of impact. So anyway, this week is experiment that I'm going to just tell you right now. I'm not a doctor. This is not advice. I wouldn't do this if I was you. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen to me, but I think it's what I'm going to try. And I put it in my butt cheek last time. It didn't help at all. I wanted a bonus for the butt cheek thing. All right, people. 10 milligrams of Zepbound. Uncap it. Put the cap down. Unlock it. Find my belly, which is 1.5 pounds bigger than it was yesterday. Here looks like a good place. There's this little, I don't want to hit that. Looks like a vein. I'm going to go around that there. Here you go. Ready? All right. I'm Zepbound and up a couple of pounds. But instead of you hearing me 7 days from now, the next time I come back, it's going to be Thursday night or Friday morning. I think. Also, the trash can is really close, so it wasn't going to be hard to hit. So anyway. Well, it ended up being Friday morning. It's actually more like Friday afternoon. It's a little bit after lunch, but it is Friday, July 5th. And wait till I tell you what happened this week. This is something. Watch this. Opening up my magic app for the scale. Renfo scale, by the way. So as you know, I was on here on the 30th. On here. I sound 100 years old. My programs, I recorded on the 30th. It was Sunday. I was 188.2 pounds. Now, I didn't weigh myself again till the 1st, 188.2 still. Now, I was very careful about eating this week, and no, that's not true. Careful in the way you're, let me explain. I went back to eating not quite as many calories, but I was not careful about what I ate. Meaning I had a bowl of cereal this week. I still had like eggs and steak and stuff with wraps and everything, but like once or twice I had food where I was like, oh, what is this? I had like a couple of scoops of ice cream one night. So not like careful that way, but I was careful about my calories overall. Anyway, 187 on the 2nd, then on the 3rd, 185.8. On the 4th of July, 185. And this morning, I weigh 183.8 pounds. Now, letter of the law, every 7 days, I shouldn't inject again until Sunday. But like I told you, I've been doing some more reading on half-life. The half-life of Zepbound is approximately 5 days. This means that it takes about 5 days for half of the dose to be eliminated from the body. Given this half-life, it generally takes around 30 days for Zepbound to be completely cleared from your system after the last dose. So that's fine. So if I'm understanding that correctly, actually, I don't have to understand it correctly. I'm going to read to you. Understanding the elimination. When a drug is administered, it's concentrated in the bloodstream rise to a peak, and then it begins to decrease as the body metabolizes and excretes it. The half-life is measured on how quickly this decrease occurs. So, hold on. So if a drug has a half-life of 5 days, this means that every 5 days, the concentration of the drug in your blood reduces by 50%. So you inject 10 milligrams. 5 days later, there's 5 milligrams left in you. 5 days after that, there's 2.5. 5 days after that, there's 1.2. 5 days after that, 0.7. So that's how it takes 30 days for it to completely go. But you can see the efficacy of it is dropping exponentially as the drug is being excreted and metabolized. So my thought here is, I'm shooting no matter what I'm shooting, I'm seeing the same seesaw effect. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, lose weight. Day 6, day 7, gain weight, put it back in. Day 1, day 2, don't really lose weight. Day 3, day 4, day 5, lose weight. It just keeps happening like that. First 2 days, nothing happens. You hold steady. Day 3, 4, 5, you lose weight. Day 6, 7, you put it back on. Day 1, 2, again, you hold steady. Like, so that just keeps happening. So I'm basically just trading back and forth the same handful of pounds over and over again. So like I said, we changed insurance, and because that happened, I ended up with 2 extra 7.5 milligram pens. Today is Friday, and I'm working this out with you, by the way. I have a reasonable idea of what I'm doing, but I wouldn't call this, any deep thinking on my part. So please don't do this, first of all. This is not medical advice. Nothing here on the Juicebox podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician. But what I've decided to do is I'm going to inject this 7.5 right now. So let's do that now. Cap off, lock off, find the spot. This looks good. Let's go. 7.5 is in. Now, last time I shot 10, this is 7.5. Now, the pharmacy didn't have 10s, so my doctor moved me to the 12.5. Right in that trash can, no problem. So the next time I shoot, it's going to be 12.5. Now, when is the next time going to be? Well, I'm at a 5. I shot 10, and today I basically have 5 left because of half-life. I'm still losing weight, but we know I'm going to start gaining weight tomorrow, the next day. So now we've put in the 7.5. My expectation is to see a hold in my weight for the next 2 days. So Saturday and Sunday, and then a loss Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If that holds true or comes close to being what I'm expecting, then that means on Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to shoot the 12.5. So if that works, then the next time you hear me, I should be more like 181 pounds. If that happens, then I'll shoot the 12.5, see how the 12.5 acts, because this will be different for me again. And then I'll reassess 5 days after that on the 7.5, the other 7.5 pen that I have. So it's possible that maybe doing this staggered thing my hope is that it leads to about a 5-pound weight loss in the next 2.5 or 3 weeks. So knock on some wood. We'll see if that happens. And I'll be back very soon to tell you what's going on. After I tell you what's going on with that one, I'm going to button up this episode and put it out. If you or a loved one was just diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and you're looking for some fresh perspective, the Bold Beginnings series from the Juicebox podcast is a terrific place to start. That series is with myself and Jenny Smith. Jenny is a CDCES, a registered dietitian, and a type 1 for over 35 years. And in the Bold Beginnings series, Jenny and I are going to answer the questions that most people have after a type 1 diabetes diagnosis. The series begins at episode 698 in your podcast player, or you can go to juiceboxpodcast.com and click on Bold Beginnings in the menu. Hey kids, listen up. You've made it to the end of the podcast. You must have enjoyed it. You know what else you might enjoy? The private Facebook group for the Juicebox podcast. I know you're thinking, Facebook, Scott, please. But no, Beautiful group, wonderful people, a fantastic community. Juicebox Podcast, Type 1 Diabetes on Facebook. Of course, if you have type 2 or you're touched by diabetes in any way, you're absolutely welcome. It's a private group, so you'll have to answer a couple of questions before you come in. We'll make sure you're not a bot or an evildoer. Then you're on your way. You'll be part of the family. Hey, thanks for listening all the way to the end. I really appreciate your loyalty and listenership. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back very soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast.